Hello everyone, we're up to Survey Thursday, and as is our custom, let's talk about the results of our survey last week. Last week we spoke about a gentleman who has a yortzeit, or has a year of mourning, but quite frankly cannot even pronounce the words. He makes endless mistakes, it takes a lot of time. Should we allow him to daven? And the consensus was yes, allow him to daven. Don't touch that emotional moment from him. Albeit, don't make everyone suffer. Therefore, there were various suggestions. Each of them were wonderful, such as suggest privately that maybe I can help you learn the words, suggest that maybe only Ashrei Uvaletzion or Ma'ariv, where there's not much to say, and not a Chazarat Hashatz in which you'll stumble over words. But the bottom line is, let him daven, albeit try to find solutions for his inability to pronounce the words. And with that, let's make a very, very big jump to the question of the week, in which it's not a yes or no question, but rather I'd love to hear your suggestions. And that is, how should we invite guests into our shuls? And I'd like to remind you of what I said on this very podcast way, way back in January of 2024. I went to that shtibel together with my colleague. When we walked in, a Hasidic Jew sitting next to the Yaron in the middle of davening comes up to us and says so nicely, "Good morning, where are you from?" And we said, "Two Jews from Israel." "Oh, very nice. Please put on a talis. I want to give you both an Aliya." And he gave us both an Aliya. It was Thursday. So we listened to Kriyas HaTorah thinking that afterwards we'd find a minyan somewhere, and we already heard Kriyas HaTorah, we'd save time. As soon as Kriyas HaTorah was over, the Jew says, "You must be tired, you just came off a plane, let me get you 2 cups of coffee." And we said, "No, it's fine, it's the middle of davening." And you can obviously see the scene: an old elderly Jew, Hasidic Jew, talis and tefillin, long beard, goes in the middle of davening and gets us 2 cups of coffee. That at the end of our little meeting, we were talking, and then I asked, "From Avu Kumtagit, which Hasidic group are you from?" And he said, "Satmar." My first message to everyone is, don't judge a book by its cover. I'm sure when I say the word Satmar, you think anti-Zionism and many other things. That's not the whole story. I have never been received so beautifully by a Jew with Ma'or Panim like this Jew in this past week. My second experience is when I finally got to a minyan in what we call a modern Orthodox shul. No one looks at you. No one talks to you. It's a big shul. Finally, before Kriyas HaTorah, the Gabbai comes up to you and says the words we all heard before: Kohen, Levi. And when you say no, he walks away. So how should we indeed go ahead and receive guests and make them feel welcome in our shuls? We do not want our shuls to be a place that doesn't welcome guests. And indeed, it happens to be a halacha that amongst the, I would say, pecking order of who gets an Aliyah, one of the people on the list in the Biur Halacha is guests that come before this person or that person. But when there's only 3 Aliyahs during the week, to give away that Yisrael to a guest, should we indeed give that Yisrael, that 1 Aliyah during the week, to a guest? Or, listen, we can't give him that kavod, that 1 Yisrael Aliyah on a Thursday or a Monday, but give him something else, and not glila. Or make him feel welcome in a different way. In a word, you cannot have a situation where people feel unwelcome in shul. On the other hand, you can't have a situation where a shul that's in a very central place is always giving away aliyahs to guests. So this week, I'm not going to put out a poll. I'd love to hear your suggestions. Just write on our WhatsApp list what you think you should do for guests during the week, not Shabbos, during the week. How do we make them feel welcome in a weekday minyan? So that what Salvador Litvak on his Facebook page, the greatest Jewish jokes of all time, says about a shul.
Big thanks to Yonah Wolf for this gem. Chaim is a frum yid who's constantly traveling for work. In every new city, he finds a morning minyan to attend. If it's Monday or Thursday, the local Gabbai asks him if he's a Cohen or a Levi, and Chaim says, "No, I'm a Yisrael." And somehow, he never gets an Aliyah. Frustrated, he finally decides to lie the next time he's asked. The moment arrives, and the Gabbai says, Cohen or Levi? Chaim says, Cohen. Baruch Hashem, says the Gabbai. But I have 2 yard sites and a baby naming. I'm going to need you to step outside.
So how do we prevent it? Looking forward to your answers.
Achnosa Zorchem is so easy, it's a mitzvah that we do. We just love inviting guests and we would like to welcome you. Achnosa Zorchem is so easy, it's a mitzvah that we do. We just love inviting guests and we would like to welcome you. Boys and girls, young and old, everyone is welcome in our home. Boys and girls, young and old, everyone is welcome in our home. Ach, Nossa's Orchem is so easy.